The new dispensation. In a metaphysical context, dispensation refers to a specific period or arrangement within the unfolding of Christ consciousness, soul evolution. This often signifies how a distinct phase and how ultimate reality is perceived and experienced by the individual. Governed by a particular set of principles and sublime order, essentially a management or distribution of the truth of soul based on one's current level of inner understanding. Soul represents the supreme evolution within an individual access to this new level of soul awareness as the only. The Christ consciousness is the dispensation of the greater plan, with each phase serving a specific purpose in the unfolding of this rarefied state. The return or rebirth concept, interpreted through and as a symbol and archetype for the arrival of the Christ consciousness within this age, era, or epoch, has been represented by figures, myths, or teachings. In some traditions, the Christ consciousness represents the golden age, but dispensation representing the harmonic unification within one's individual awareness. The New Age perspective is the revealing of a hidden aspect of truth that is a unifying principle of consciousness focused on wholeness and righteousness. Sublime management as dispensation implies states of consciousness unfold like an architectural structure with different dispensations or states of consciousness representing different phases of this management plan. The progression of consciousness from base, awakened, to Christ consciousness operates as progressing through and over the concept of time. This dispensation may be interpreted symbolically with each dispensation representing a distinct archetype or measure or set of principles that are relevant to a particular realization that leads to actualization of the development of holiness as the supreme dispensation. The dispensation or administration of the fullness of times, ages, by truth signifies the purification and purge of the world ego illusory system of the mundane and or spiritual governance. This conceptual structure falls into the distinctions of the states of consciousness, which is far beyond the fabricated existence, such as a person, place, or thing. that in the dispensation of the fullness of times, the Christ consciousness has gathered together in one all states of consciousness in soul the only. Ephesians chapter 1 verse 10. Having made known unto one the mystery of her will, according to her good pleasure, the kingdom of heaven, the purified senses, the transcendent senses, administration of the fullness of times, soul the only, to head up all things in Christ consciousness, in whom one also has an inheritance. Guided by revelation, Christ consciousness, the fullness of times, describes the coming at the meridian of time, seen as the event leading to the concluding event, encompassing all other times, when the Queen of Queens is enthroned. John the Apostle, the beloved, spoke of this last time in 1 John chapter 2:18 by warning of the expected Antichrist, where in 1 John chapter 2:18 the world eagle, seen by the beloved, as in the book of Revelation, were these times as chapters or chakras of a book, where the time preceding the opening of the fifth seal or chakra is the time spoken of in Galatians. The Hebrew meaning of dispensation, in Greek oikonomia, which means management or economy, the method or schematic according to which purpose is carried out is called dispensation. The seven dispensations are represented as the seven churches or the seven chakras, the seven churches of Asia or the seven chakras. These allotments of purifying consciousness is the promised land or fulfillment of the evolutionary growth for one whom the dispensation is directed. This elimination of the world conscious and personal ego through understanding it is only a fictitious character caught up in a dream without reality or truth. Now the rightful transposition that changes the relative position of consciousness to wholeness has occurred. The rectifying of error from belief in a world ego and acceptance of its non-existence is to change in form or nature. Transform. First shall be last means as the world ego currently is believed to be in a leading position or seen to be ahead will end up in a lower position, showing that situations must and will change, and its initial advantages will exist no more.